Hi, this is Pat Lynch on Speak Up at Women's Radio, and I'm very delighted to have as my guest today Sylvia Scott, who is the founder of Girls C.E.O. Connection, an organization that sets young women on the path toward fulfilling lives as successful entrepreneurs, something I'm very interested in. So Sylvia is personally committed to bringing opportunities to cultivate entrepreneurship with high school girls, and she joined Speak Up to talk more about Girls CEO Connection, and we're delighted to have her. Welcome, Sylvia.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice to be here, Pat.
Well, I'm so pleased that we're able to share all of the great things that you're doing with our audience, many of whom I'm sure you are hoping will also participate in some way in helping Girls CEO Connection to expand. And I know that you're into the expansion mode right now. Is that right?
No, it is, definitely. I have a lot of plans going through in the future, such as going into Canada. So, yes, I do.
Indeed, indeed. And we're going to learn more about that. But I want to know what really inspired this. Did you dream about being an entrepreneur when you were a little girl?
Oh, yes, I did. In fact, I think it became apparent when my grandfather owned a retail store, a business in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I had a vision to own a women's wear boutique. And I made sure when I studied that there was some fashion merchandising, and also worked in a high-end boutique in Tulsa, and moved on when I was going to a fashion merchandising school in New York City.
So now you've been doing this for like 10 years. The Girls CEO Connection started approximately 10 years ago. Is that correct?
That's right.
How
did.
motivated you to do this?
What prompted it? Well, for a long time, I read the book Reviving Ophelia, and it was about girls in 8th grade changing. And I thought girls need to have something that will empower them and help them, with what they want to do in the future, even though it's been proven that high school girls, often as students, don't know what they want to do when they get out of school. And when I did the Women's Leadership Exchange conferences, I thought, oh, this is great. I bet girls would love something like this. So I transferred what I saw in those conferences for high school girls and, changed it, that it would be more appealing to high school girls. But the format, and the girls loved it. So we started with the conferences and then moved on with mentoring, moved on with interviewing women entrepreneurs. I had a team board in California, and a lot of the women had been in the conference, and then the girls said, oh, well, let's get some younger women. The people from the conference are fine, but let's get some younger women. So we started researching and brought in some younger women that actually started businesses at high school and moved on with them. And so that's what I focus on now, are women that are young women that would make a difference for teenage girls.
Well, I know you're making a difference by doing this. I know maybe you and I really wish that this had happened when we had been coming up, but I'm so glad that you're doing it now. Now that you've been doing it for 10 years, and then looking back, are there things that you might have done differently, or are there things that you've learned from doing that you're going to be doing in the future?
Ask for more money, for one. Ask for more money, for one. And then really, I've been working on getting to know more about Gen Z high school girls and listening more about them and looking at studies. And then I have an ambassador program where I've got girls and I ask them more about it. And I think that's what I might have done early on. But I did have a team board. But early on, doing that and really focusing on, well, what would work, which videos worked great. Writing in a blog was so-so. So now I combine the blog and the video together.
Oh, interesting. That's wonderful. And we're going to carry a link, I believe, to your Facebook page as well as your website so that people can go see and learn more about a lot of the interesting things that you are doing with these young women. So now, what do you see happening in the next 5 years? What's your vision?
For in a few years, I see expanding into Canada, for one, and I want to expand my Young Women Ambassador program. Right now I have 4 girls from Illinois, and they are seniors, and then I'm getting one from Denver, who I believe is 15 or 16. I want to expand that, and when I move to Tulsa, I want to get some more girls. But I don't have to live in the area. I mean, these came referrals through somebody's sister. So I want to get more girls from other areas so we can get a big view on what girls in Chicago would think about it, what girls in Oklahoma, because girls all think differently in Gen Z. I have an advisory board member that's an expert on it, but really look at expanding over into Canada with entrepreneurship there for young girls, for high school girls. And really get more girls in the United States interested at a young age.
Indeed. I think Canada is a very entrepreneurial kind of country as such. And so I think that they will certainly welcome this. And I agree with you. I think that we need to influence a lot more young women here in the United States. And also we have people who are listening in Europe and Australia and the other countries.
Yes, that's the next step after Canada.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to really look at your progress with a lot of interest. If women who are listening today, our women are usually running their own countries, their own companies by this time. But if there are ways that you want women to interact with what you're doing, what can they do and how can they get in touch?
Mentoring, for one, because that's what young women need. And I was told that by a professor at Stanford who studies teenagers. He said they need mentoring. Definitely, and that's what I've seen. And coaching, because you may have someday, they got to learn about accepting responsibility and maybe coaching one girl at a time, which mentoring and coaching are different. So those are the two that it would be. And even talking to the girls when I do a conference, coming and being there and sitting at lunch talking to them, because the girls love that. And being involved in those ways. But the mentoring and coaching are really something that's important.
And people can even do that with Zoom and Skype and processes like that these days, too. So we probably have to be in the same city with them. There are other ways that we can do that, right?
Right.
Wonderful. Now, you have also written a book, so share a little bit about your book.
Yes, it's called Realizing Vision, Your Toolkit for Success, Words of Wisdom for Young Female Entrepreneurs. And it came from my conferences were called Realizing a Vision. And I talked to a lot of different people like Patty Green from Babson and some other women, Sharon Hadari, other women who got into really women entrepreneurs, and I gave them topics for the conference, and they said, that's great, vision, passioning, the brand called you, developing the leader within. And I took those topics and I put them into the book as chapters. Oh. And I've interviewed younger entrepreneurs, mostly, to find out how they connected with communication, having to talk to people that didn't realize they were younger, and the branding, developing the leadership within. So in each chapter, I have at least one young female entrepreneur I've interviewed, and they give I tell a story about them. It's storytelling.
Well, storytelling is fun, and you're fun, and I hope that you'll come back and tell us about all the success you've had across the country and in getting into Canada, and I hope that we can be a part of that and that you'll come back and share all of that, those good stories with us.
Oh, I will, definitely.
Well, you've been a pleasure, and I look forward to having you as my guest again.
Okay. I really enjoyed talking to you and reconnecting with you, Pat.
Yes, me too, Sylvia. Thanks a lot.